A couple minutes to go live since I am using a brand new software. No software is perfect. I should know. I sell software. But anyways, this new platform, it does take a while to start to record the live stream. So that's why I'm giving it this buffer time. I think we're good now. Anyways, welcome to another live recording of the Are You Green podcast. In just a moment, I'll start recording the cast. But for those of you watching on YouTube, thank you so much for being here. Please subscribe and hit the like button. It means a lot to me. And let's dive right in. Welcome to the Are You Green podcast. Today is Wednesday, December 16th, and it has been such a great day for my account. And I'm so excited to dive into all of the sells that I had today, as well as my personal trades. Today, the SPY previous close was 369.59, and now it's around 369.64. So pretty flat today, but slightly green as well. The XLK is the S&P 500 technology sector. I love to follow the XLK because I trade so many tech stocks. So the previous close for the XLK was 126.83 and it opened at 127. It's now around 127.35. So is the XLK green? Yes, it is. And now the question everyone waits for, are you green in my personal accounts? Yes, I am. I am very, very green today. I had a huge profit day. A lot of my swing trades turned around, and I just can't wait to share with you everything that happened in the market. But before that, I also will dive into the news for today around the Federal Reserve press conference that I just finished watching. And then I also want to talk about an exciting new Amazon product. So stay tuned. Great. So for those of you watching live, I do segment out the podcast for the listeners. And if you don't listen to the Are You Green podcast, you need to check it out right now. You can listen to all of my older episodes where there's tons of cool tidbits in there. So it's just Are You Green ? And you can look it up anywhere where you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple, Cast Pocket, all different types of platforms. So let's dive back in. Welcome back. The Federal Reserve had a press conference today that was very anticipated. Obviously, the economy is not where it should be based on the high unemployment numbers. And the Federal Reserve has a lot of financial tools that they can use to control money kind of from the top down. So they do have a lot of limits because the way that the United States government is set up, it is divided powers. So, the Federal Reserve, Chairman Powell has done a great job, but he's not God and he's not a dictator. He can't just snap his fingers and fix the economy because he only is able to use the tools carved out for the monetary policy branch of our economy for the Federal Reserve. So I think he does a really great job of explaining that and talking about his limitations, as well as putting some pressure back onto the government for fiscal stimulus, for fiscal relief. So the press conference honestly was nothing new. He just talked about how the upcoming months are very uncertain with the economy because there are a lot of people who are facing unemployment who will be, possibly evicted. And there's a huge food shortage and hunger going on right now in the country. So to sum it up, it wasn't good. And he basically, reiterated as many times as he could that the government needs to step in and take care of the fiscal policy for the people. That being said, the other news story I wanted to share is around Amazon. Of course, you know me with the tech companies, and I was awestruck to hear that they are really moving in full-fledged into the healthcare industry. So first, they did by a company called PillPax a while ago to create Amazon Pharmacy. So that has been kind of going on, and I know it hasn't really it hasn't made huge traction, but again, they are working on it. And then news came out today that their Amazon Care program is possibly going to be a service that they will sell. So what Amazon has created is their own type of telemedicine platform called Amazon Care. They rolled it out to all of their Amazon employees in Washington State. I happen to be in Washington State, so I actually didn't know about this program until now. I'm going to go and ask some of my friends who work at Amazon to learn a little bit more about this. So I'll be reporting back. But what really struck a chord was when this news came out, a lot of the other Teladoc stocks had a huge drop today. So Amwell, AMWL, it dropped almost 7% today. Teladoc, TDoc, down 3%. ONEM, Life Healthcare was down a little under 1%. And then GoodRx, who also wants to develop their own Teladoc system, also went down 1%. And the truth of it is that Amazon has such a huge spread and so much, it's such a large company, so they could come in and totally disrupt this, which from a trading point of view, I love it because the volatility just provides us with emotional sells and more opportunities for me to buy. So that being said, let's dive into my personal accounts because there's a lot today. So I've divided the tickers and the companies up into 3 categories. Swing trades that I sold a little bit of, but I'm holding on to, swing trades that I'm totally out of, and then my day trades and swings for the day. So diving right into the small sells, I did sell a piece of my DocuSign swing. My average on this was 220.59. I sold for 239. So, 220 to 239, it's more than an 18-point gain. That is so huge for me. I usually only get those types of gains when I trade Tesla. So I'm really happy about this. And I'm not done, guys. I have another sell level at 248. I do feel like it can get there in the next few weeks. So I'm going to give it some time. But really happy about the way that swing trade is going. Then we have CRSR. That's the gaming stock that I've been swinging. My average is actually at 35.40. And, I have sells at 37.99, but I am going ahead and sizing down on this ticker because it's just not moving as fast as I would like. So I sold a small piece today at 37 for a 1.6 point gain. Happy with the gain and, happy that I am still holding on to a little bit, but I did want to go ahead and cash out so I could participate in more trades and really maximize my revenue potential. Then let's dive into the stocks that I am completely out of. Not saying I won't dive back in, but we've got Energizer, ENR. Honestly, this trade was a disappointment. I knew that it was for more of a long term, but I, was getting impatient, and that is such a challenge that, I have that I want to share with you guys. When you see when you enter into a swing trade and, you feel very confident about the way it's going to go, maybe it goes there, but not fast enough, whatever it is, it can be really difficult to hold on to that ticker, especially when it's in the red, and then to, try to get yourself to not sell it when it hits green and wait for your target. So originally my target for this was 46.65. It's a long way away from, where it's trading at. And my average was at 40.93. And I decided to sell today at 43.10. I had already previously sold a small piece of this at 43.60. So a higher gain, and it hasn't been growing the way I wanted it to. So I would much rather, take the gain that I have on this this ticker, the gains that I had previously, and then this one today, and invest in something else. And hopefully, that's just how it goes. Sometimes my trades are not going to go 100% according to plan. No trader is right 100% of the time. And for me, I just do a really good job of managing my risk on each trade and making sure that I make consistent profits no matter what, whatever it takes, basically. So on this one, I did go ahead and make a safe move to sell it. I sold it at 43.10 for a 2.17 gain. So really happy about it. And for those of you who are still in that trade, I do think it will get to 46.65. Do I want to leave my cash sitting in that ticker any longer? No, I don't. I want to move on. And I did. Let's talk next about iRobot. So that's IRBT. Sorry, guys, I had to get some water. It's rough here. So iRobot, I'll cut this out for the podcast listeners, but those of you on the live stream, see what I mean? You guys get to see the podcast first. You get to see all my awkward mistakes. I mean, yesterday's episode is hilarious because I totally wanted to be green and excited, and I messed up. So yeah. Congrats to those watching the YouTube video because you get to see everything behind the scenes, and then you listen to the podcast and I cut all this out. But anyways, let's dive back into iRobot. So my average on iRobot is 80.80. Originally, I had wanted to swing this a little bit longer. This was a ticker that I was buying and selling and buying and selling literally for the last few months since the beginning of November, really. And so, I did have some higher levels initially for iRobot, but it's same thing happened with Energizer. It wasn't moving this at the pace that I wanted it to. And I just wanted to get out and take my profit and go. So, that's why you got to trade your own plan and be confident in these decisions because, it could be that it gets to higher levels in these upcoming days, but I wanted the cash to invest in something else. So I did go ahead and sell it for 81.40, just to, 0.60 gain on it. So it's really my most disappointing trade over the past couple of weeks was iRobot. So it could be rough out there, guys. And the last trade that I am completely out of is Microsoft. That's MSFT. I had an average of 209.99. So almost 210 was my average. I already sold a little piece of it and I was holding on for 216.50 since there was a quarterly pivot there. Yes, it did burst past that pivot, but I'm not sad about it. I got my sale in and I made 6.5 net points. So really huge profit for me and it's okay. So if you're constantly looking at the trades that you've missed out on or the money that you lost, you're doing the wrong thing. You need to, yes, learn from those mistakes, but as a trader, you need to live in the present and take your profit and continue going. If you can live to trade another day, you've done a good job. So that's enough of that lecture there. Let's talk about the trades that I'm in and what happened today. So a lot of those sells were sells that I put in. So that's a great thing about trading. You can put in those sell orders for good until canceled and, let that automatically just run for you so you can focus on other things. So what was I focusing on? JKS. I was really excited to see a drop this morning in JKS. I am going to go ahead and share my screen. I did get that finally figured out for, those of you who saw the live stream yesterday and it didn't work. I'm now up and running, so be scared. Anyways, so I pull up my Thinkorswim charts. I do like to pull up my paper trading charts. In general, I use paper trading to chart an alert because if you make like a mistake on my real account and I'm like doing so many alerts, so maybe I do a buy instead of an alert, like that could really jeopardize my account. So if you are just using Thinkorswim for the charting capability, think about having a screen where it's just the paper trading so that you can really dive into that chart, create alerts, and not be concerned that you're going to be, buying or selling with your real money. So that's kind of how I manage Thinkorswim. But I do want to go ahead and pull up the chart for JKS for those watching on the live stream, since now you guys get to see along with my charts. For those of you who are just listening to the podcast, please check out the live stream in the description of the cast to see some of this chart review. But anyway, so right off the open, I saw a lot of volatility with JKS. What happened is yesterday they had a huge growth from opening around 54.69 and then just soaring higher and higher into the close of day at 62.89. Because of such a high spread up, I knew that this was going to be an awesome ticker to trade the next day when a lot of people are selling off, maybe what they earned there, or just selling off in volatility in general. And that's exactly what I saw right off the open. So I'll go ahead and zoom in for people with the charts. You could see that I saw these right off the open, it popped up to its weekly pivot at 61.23. And then it had, 5 red candles down. So that dip is exactly what I wanted. So I went ahead and bought at 59.89. I was going to give this room to go into a longer swing trade, but I didn't need to because right when I bought, a few minutes later, the ticker bounced back up. And once it bounced up past the weekly pivot at 61.21, that's when I realized this is possibly going to be a day trade and not a swing, because if I get that movement right away and I can sell it and take my profits, then that's perfect. What else could I want? So I did go ahead and put a sell in at 62.87, and it did end up getting filled. So I made 2.98 on that. Really, again, happy about how this day trade went. It's difficult because I am restricted on how many day trades I can make due to the pattern day trader restriction, the PDT law. But this was a great setup, and I'm happy that it worked out that way. The next stock I want to share with you is HYLN. So I'll go ahead and pull up that chart. This ticker is definitely more of a long-term swing, and I would also say that it's a little bit riskier because usually I'm trading companies that have a lot more history. So Microsoft, Energizer, even iRobot. And this is a very small kind of electric vehicle tractor company out of Texas. So shout out to Texas. I was actually born and raised there. But anyway, so I saw, this spike and drop they had off the open today. And I pulled up the chart, and that's what I'm showing you guys now. So yesterday they hit a 90-day low at 1535. And so I felt like, because they hit that low yesterday, they had a pop off the open today and then a drop back down. Felt like it might be a good swing trade for me to enter into. So I did buy at 1641. So that's my current average, but I have orders down to at 1540, and I would even buy, up to 15 to continue sizing into this trade, since I'm, still not quite sized in. I do want it to hit those lower points if it can. If not, though, I do have a target sell around 18. So I feel very confident about my plan with that swing trade. But again, you guys need to follow your own plan. That being said, I have very much enjoyed getting I almost said instant messages like back in the AOL, like AIM day. No, direct messages on the Instagram channel. I want to apologize. I know I have like 6 in there that I've not responded to. So for those 6 people, I am sorry, but what is great is I used to just get like a couple of random people messaging me. Now more and more listeners are engaged, and I just love talking with you guys about your strategies, about your opinions of the cast, and so on. Due to those interactions, I am going to start a new podcast episode kind of session on the weekends. I don't know what I'm going to call it. Maybe like, Are You Green Weekend Edition, or Are You Green After Hours? You guys can comment below and let me know what you think. But it is going to be a special episode where I'm just interviewing a fellow trader to give you guys just, again, more of context of the trading world. So thank you all for, listening to Are You Green? I look forward to recording tomorrow. Until then, I want you to trade safely and trade your plan and plan your trades. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Awesome. So that is the end of the podcast for today. I'll go ahead and end the live stream in a minute. I just want to say thank you again to all of you guys out there, like handling and dealing with my technology issues with sharing the charts. I think you could see from the chart share today that I've got it all worked out. So I will be doing that more often to actually bring you guys a little bit more into my world and the trading strategy that I follow. So until then, I'll be live on Friday, so you can check it out then. Or of course, you can also listen to the podcast because I'll be recording one tomorrow as well. So thanks for your support. Stay safe out there.